We are counting down 10 World Cup stats so baffling, they will make you question football's greatest names. All-time scorers blanked in every knockout match, penalty specialists who never stepped up when it counted, and a goal so illegal it haunts an entire nation. Every entry clashes with the legend attached to it. Starting at number 10, a midfielder whose entire knockout scoring career comes down to one swing of his foot. In 10th place, Andres Iniesta's World Cup knockout stage scoring record reads like a minimalist's dream. One goal, but what a goal. Across 3 tournaments and 8 knockout matches, he found the net just once in the 116th minute of the 2010 final. That single strike did not just break Dutch hearts. It handed Spain their first and only World Cup trophy. For a midfielder who pulled the strings every match, the stat is almost comical. All those minutes, all that influence, and only one knockout goal to show for it. Yet it is the one that every Spaniard remembers. Minimum output, maximum glory. Number 9. Lionel Messi's World Cup penalty record is almost suspiciously tidy for a man who has spent his career haunting goalkeepers. Across 5 tournaments and more than 1,800 minutes on the pitch, Messi has taken just 2 penalties in open play at the World Cup. Yes, 2. He converted against Nigeria in 2018, then saw his shot saved by the Netherlands in 2022. Not a single off-target miss by FIFA's official definition. For a player who has racked up over 100 career penalties with Barcelona and Argentina, this is the statistical equivalent of ordering a salad at an all-you-can-eat buffet, the world's most prolific left foot, and only 2 bites at the World Cup penalty apple. In 8th place, Diego Maradona's infamous Hand of God moment is the rare stat where an illegal move became official World Cup history. In the 51st minute of the 1986 quarterfinal, Maradona punched the ball past England's Peter Shilton, clear as day, hand to ball, but the goal stood. No VAR, no replay, just referee Ali Ben Nasser's nod, and a stadium full of disbelief. The match report still lists it as a regular goal, not a single asterisk in sight. Argentina went on to win 2-1 and eventually the whole tournament. 1 deliberate handball, 0 consequences except for the next 30 years of debates about fairness, fate, and football's most notorious sleight of hand. Number 7. Harry Kane wears the crown as England's penalty king, except when it comes to World Cup knockout matches. For a man who has made a living from the spot, Kane's knockout penalty tally reads like a pub quiz trick question. In 2018, England's shootout drama against Colombia did not give him a single in-play penalty to take, and his famed right foot never got a look in during extra time. Fast forward to 2022, and the first real chance finally arrived, quarterfinal versus France, in the 78th minute. Kane steps up and, wait for it, blasts it over the bar. For a striker with an 85% club conversion rate, it is the footballing equivalent of missing the dartboard. England's designated taker, all that pressure, and his only knockout spot kick goes missing in action. Sometimes the biggest names get the weirdest gaps on their World Cup stat sheets. Number 6. Neymar Jr. is football's poster boy for creativity, unless you check the World Cup knockout rounds. Across 3 tournaments, Neymar has delivered exactly 0 assists after the group stage. That's right, not a single decisive pass in 6 knockout matches, despite playing every minute in Brazil's 2014, 2018, and 2022 elimination games. The FIFA assist tables confirm it. 2 group stage assists in 2014, then nothing but tumbleweeds from the round of 16 onward. For a player who averages nearly half an assist per game in club football, this is the World Cup's version of a magician forgetting his deck at home. The ball stops at Neymar's feet when the pressure ramps up. No threaded through balls, no last gasp setups, just a creative drought when Brazil needed a spark. The world tunes in for the tricks, but in knockout football, the rabbit never leaves the hat. Number 5. Antonio Carbajal holds the strangest badge of honor in World Cup history. 5 tournaments and 0 knockout minutes. From 1950 to 1966, Carbajal stood in goal for Mexico across 11 group stage matches, an Ironman streak that made him the first player ever to reach 5 World Cups. Here's the twist. Mexico crashed out in the group every single time. Not a single minute beyond the opening phase, not even a sniff of the round of 16. FIFA and RSSSF records confirm it. 11 games, 5 editions, and not once did Carbajal get to feel the tension of a knockout whistle. Today, keepers like Buffon and Casillas get their shot at glory, but Carbajal's record is a masterclass in showing up and never getting past the velvet rope. Durability, yes. Progress, not so much. Number 4. Andres Escobar's World Cup story is the darkest stat in the game's history. A single own goal that changed a nation's fate. In the 22nd minute against the United States in 1994, Escobar tried to intercept a cross. The ball skidded off his foot and past his own goalkeeper. Colombia, tipped by many as tournament dark horses, never recovered. That own goal sealed their group stage exit, a shock for a team loaded with talent and expectation. But the real tragedy came after the final whistle. Just 10 days later, Escobar was murdered in Medellin, an act investigators linked to gambling losses and national outrage over that fateful touch. FIFA's match report lists it as just another own goal. But in Colombia, it became a symbol of football's power to both unite and destroy. No stat in World Cup history carries a heavier cost. Coming to the top 3, Zinedine Zidane's World Cup finale reads like a Greek tragedy, with a red card as the curtain drop. In the 110th minute of the 2006 final, with millions watching and the score locked at 1-1, Zidane let fly with a headbutt to Marco Materazzi's chest. The referee, after a brief conference and a glance at the 4th official, produced the only straight red card ever shown in a World Cup final. France, forced to play the last 10 minutes of extra time a man down, never recovered. Italy held on and won on penalties. FIFA's final match report and the disciplinary bulletin do not sugarcoat it. Violent conduct, a 3-match ban, €20,000 fine. For a player who had already scored a Panenka penalty that night, this was a legacy-altering implosion. Zidane's last act in international football was not a goal or a trophy lift, but a walk past the World Cup trophy, head held high, as the world wondered what might have been. Number 2. Roberto Baggio's 1994 World Cup finale is football's ultimate penalty plot twist. After a month of carrying Italy on his back, with 5 goals, 2 shootout conversions, and a string of last-gasp heroics, he stepped up for Italy's 5th penalty in the final against Brazil. The score was 3-2 in favor of Brazil in the shootout. Baggio, the nation's hope and the tournament's unofficial MVP, needed to score to keep Italy alive. Instead, he sent the ball soaring over the crossbar and into legend. Brazil erupted, Italy crumbled, and the World Cup was decided not by a wonder goal, but by a single skybound miss. Press headlines the next day called it the shot heard round the world. FIFA's official match report lists it as the 5th Italian kick, the one that sealed Brazil's victory and left Baggio's legacy forever entangled with heartbreak. For a player who had been flawless under pressure, one errant strike rewrote his World Cup story in less than a second. That's the cruel math of the shootout. 90 minutes of brilliance erased by one wayward penalty. And finally, in first place, Cristiano Ronaldo, the man with 965 career goals, 5 Ballon d'Ors, and a museum dedicated to himself, has never scored or assisted in a World Cup knockout match. Not once. The knockout rounds are where heroes are made, and Ronaldo somehow turns invisible. From 2006 to 2022, he logged over 800 minutes across 8 knockout games. Quarterfinals, round of 16 matches, you name it. Every time the stat line reads like a haunted house. 0 goals, 0 assists, just a lot of frustrated defenders and even more frustrated fans. Portugal's all-time top scorer, the player who made Champions League nights his personal highlight reel, suddenly goes cold when the stakes are highest. FIFA's match reports and Opta's event logs back it up, shot after shot, but the scoreboard never budges. It is the ultimate World Cup plot twist. The most prolific forward of his generation blanked every time the trophy comes into view. For all the memes about clutch genes, Ronaldo's knockout record is the footballing equivalent of a Wi-Fi signal dropping at the worst possible moment. Legends stumble, but this drought is almost art. Across all 10 shocking stats, one pattern stands out. The World Cup does not care about legends. Even icons with golden boots and Ballon d'Ors leave bizarre, reputation-busting numbers behind. In football's biggest spotlight, myth meets mathematics, and sometimes the numbers win. Which stat blew your mind? Drop it below.